The Amazon jungle is one of the most mysterious, dangerous places on Earth, and Joe Rogan loves talking about it. Over the years, his podcast has become a goldmine of insane Amazon stories, from men nearly swallowed by anacondas, to tribes firing arrows at outsiders, to explorers barely escaping death. These tales are raw, wild, and unforgettable. Buckle up. Here are the 20 craziest Amazon stories ever told on the Joe Rogan Experience. 1. Paul Rizzoli's near anaconda eat attempt. Paul Rizzoli once volunteered to be eaten by an anaconda for science and awareness. Wearing a custom-built snake-proof suit, he let the massive creature coil around him on camera. But things went sideways fast. The pressure was crushing his ribs and the snake was getting aggressive. Paul had to call it off before it went too far. On Joe's show, even Rogan looked shocked. "You actually tried that?" Yep, he really did. 2. Surviving giant anacondas. Rizzoli didn't stop there. He and his team once tracked down a wild 18-foot anaconda weighing over 200 pounds. The snake was thick as a car tire and completely silent. They grabbed video, but the real terror came from knowing one wrong step and it could disappear underwater and take you with it. Joe called it prehistoric, and honestly, it looked like it. 3. Amazon fires from a Tarzan's view. During the devastating Amazon wildfires of 2019, Rizzoli was there, deep in the jungle. He told Joe how the smoke blocked the sun and animals ran out of the trees confused and coughing. Villages were being swallowed by fire. He saw ancient trees explode into ash. It wasn't just tragic, it was apocalyptic. Paul's voice cracked telling it, and Joe just sat back, stunned. 4. Bites from the jungle. Rizzoli's not afraid of snakes, but bugs? That's a different story. He described the agony of being bitten by venomous caterpillars that felt worse than bullet ants. He was once nipped by a caiman and nearly lost a toe. Joe joked about jungle insurance, but Paul wasn't laughing. Out there, a bite isn't just pain, it's a survival crisis. 5. Paul Rizzoli's jaguar encounter. One night, lost in the jungle and separated from his team, Paul heard a low growl. A jaguar stood just feet from him, watching. No flashlight, no weapon, just instinct. He held his ground, stared back, and slowly backed away. It let him live. "That's when you know you're not the apex predator anymore," he told Joe. 6. Uncontacted tribes and arrow attacks. Rizzoli described what it's like approaching an uncontacted tribe. Silence, then arrows. His boat was nearly struck by warning shots from tribes that don't want outsiders. Joe asked, "What would you have done if they hit you?" Paul shrugged. "Hope I float." It was one of the few times even Joe looked genuinely nervous. 7. Swimming at night danger. Swimming in Amazon waters at night? Huge mistake. Rizzoli told how nighttime swimming is practically a death sentence. Caimans, electric eels, giant catfish, and unseen parasites all hunt in the dark. He once saw glowing eyes on the surface and backed out of the water instantly. "It's their world at night," he warned. 8. Falling trees chaos. One thing more dangerous than predators? Trees. Paul explained that in the jungle, old trees collapse suddenly, creating a chain reaction like falling dominoes. He once heard a crack and barely escaped a 3-ton tree slamming down. Joe said, I never thought trees would be the scariest part of the jungle." Paul replied, "They are." 9. Forrest Galante's first contact. Wildlife biologist Forrest Galante recounted making accidental first contact with a tribe in Colombia. They emerged silently with spears, staring at the camera crew with total confusion. No words, just observation. One elder reached out and touched his beard, fascinated. It was peaceful, but Forrest said it felt like standing on the edge of history. 10. Blue-eyed natives and hair touch. Forrest described the surreal moment when young tribal kids approached and gently touched his blonde arm hair and blue eyes. They'd never seen features like his. It wasn't threatening, it was pure curiosity. Joe leaned in, wide-eyed. "That's wild," he said. It was a quiet, powerful moment of connection between worlds. 11th splayed jungle feet. Galanti talked about how indigenous jungle people have feet unlike anyone in the modern world. Wide, spread toes, tough like leather. They grip the ground like hands. One tribesman climbed a wet tree faster barefoot than most could in boots. "They are the jungle," Forrest said. Joe was speechless. 12th Coke Strip jungle invasion. Forrest also revealed that their bush plane once landed on what turned out to be a drug trafficker's airstrip. Armed men appeared. The guides whispered, "Don't ask questions." Joe's jaw dropped. The team had no idea until hours later. In the Amazon, it's not just nature that'll get you, it's humans too. 13. Ancient pale-skinned warriors. Joe once explored rumors of pale-skinned Amazon warriors, tall women who fought fiercely and lived in isolation. Based on old conquistador reports, some say they were a lost tribe with advanced tactics. It's part legend, part history, and just creepy enough to maybe be true. Joe asked, "What else don't we know?" 14th Stone cities in the Amazon. There are claims of ancient stone cities deep in the jungle, some with glass-like windows and giant statues. Joe discussed theories that the jungle hides lost civilizations wiped out by disease or conquest. Satellite imagery has found geometric patterns under the trees. Joe said, "It's like Indiana Jones, but real." 15th Conquistador Expedition Mystery. Rogan once brought up the story of a conquistador expedition that traveled the entire Amazon River. Only one man survived. He told stories of gold, giant cities, and strange tribes. Historians dismissed it, until recent finds suggested it might be true. "Imagine surviving all that and no one believes you," Joe said. 16. Yossi Ginsberg's survival tale. Yossi Ginsberg told his unbelievable story of being lost alone in the Bolivian Amazon for 3 weeks. No food, no map, no hope. He ate raw eggs, fought hallucinations, and nearly drowned. Joe sat in stunned silence as Yossi described bugs burrowing in his skin. "I shouldn't have made it," Yossi admitted. 17th. Hallucinogenic survival haze. Yossi also talked about a woman he hallucinated, someone who guided him through the jungle when he was at his lowest. She wasn't real, but she kept him moving. Joe asked if it was a vision or spirit. Yossi just smiled. "Does it matter? She saved me." 18. Floods and fungus in the jungle. Yossi's feet were literally rotting. Constant moisture caused fungi to eat through his skin. Then the river rose. He was swept into the flood and barely crawled out. "The jungle doesn't kill you fast," he said. "It breaks you slowly." Joe looked horrified.